Hey guys, how you doing? I hope you're doing okay. I'm not going to read through every last details throughout the article here. There's a lot of information. Some of it is a little bit convoluted and I get confused easily, as you well know by now. So consider this a bit of an overview, a bit of an introduction as opposed to an in-depth expose, but it will be half decent hopefully. And it's in regards to a jailbreak situation which you might well be aware of already. It's in regards to the correctional officer here, Vicky White, and she has, sprung the confessed murderer here, Casey White, on the right-hand side. She's let him run away. They've run away together. There's all kinds of information going on. Seemingly, she has perhaps sold her house. She's got a lot of funds. It seems like perhaps they are on the run together. So it's a pretty exciting situation, and there's a lot of information. I'm not smart enough to process and order it all. So as I say, this isn't going to be the best video, but a bit of an intro to it. But let's watch this video here. There's no audio, but this is surveillance footage of the correctional officer helping release and subsequently running away with the confessed murderer Casey White. They both share the same last name, but they're not in any way related. And it is believed that they've had an intimate relationship since 2020. How intimate, we don't quite know, but seemingly she's been doing favors for him at the correctional facility, ensuring that he gets extra food and other privileges that he otherwise ought not have received. So we'll let this one pan out. You can watch this. I'll perhaps play it a couple of times. There's another video we can have a look at too. Yeah, and I'll start reading through this. A jail guard who snuck a confessed murderer out of prison had been romantically linked to the inmate for at least 2 years before she sprung him free. Vicky White, the correctional officer, 56 years of age, and Casey White, 38 years of age, the confessed murderer. They're not related, but they shared a special relationship dating back to 2020 when the prisoner was first brought to Lauderdale County for his arraignment. Other inmates claim that he was getting extra food on his trays as well as other privileges that nobody else was getting. So seemingly the inmate has been transferred from one facility to another and back again, something along those lines. And in the midst of the inmate Casey White being out of the facility that the correctional officer worked in, they still maintained contact. Seemingly she would visit him at the other facilities. If I'm understanding things correctly, I think I do have that right. And I think it's believed that she didn't declare herself to be a correctional officer if and when she did have such visitations. So she's kept this on the down low, as it were, as far as we understand. So we can see her busting out there, and he is a confessed murderer. He is a murderer, and he was serving a 75-year sentence for attempted murder, burglary, robbery, kidnapping, and animal cruelty. He also faced murder charges after confessing to the fatal stabbing of Connie Ridgway, 58 years of age. And he's 6'9", if that's relevant. It kind of is, because that's a pretty overpowering height. He's 330 pounds. He's a strong fella. He could quite easily overpower 56-year-old Vicky White, the correctional officer. By the way, they busted out of prison, or the correctional facility, with an AR-15 and a shotgun. Seemingly, footage shows that they abandoned the sheriff's vehicle at a local shopping centre, and seemingly they've driven away in another vehicle, an SUV, a 2007 Ford Edge. So let's see if I can show you a picture of a 2007 Ford Edge. There's a 2007 Ford Edge, which apparently they've run off in. They've abandoned the sheriff's vehicle. Some other information which has come out is that the day that they escaped, Friday, the day of the escape, was going to be the correctional officer's last day. She had applied for retirement, although the article tells us that her mother was not aware that the correctional officer was planning on retiring. So it was literally her last day of work. She busted this guy out. Also, she sold her property for $95,000, which was way below market value. So it seems to all have been very much planned, very much on the down low. She sold her house or her property to get cashed up to take this guy on the run. The article also tells us that an ex-girlfriend of the murderer, the confessed murderer, an ex-girlfriend is extremely fearful for the life of the correctional officer. The ex-girlfriend, who hasn't been named, said that she will be considered disposable by the inmate, by Casey. The ex-girlfriend says Casey White is very dangerous to everybody that is around him. I feel that he has manipulated her and she's disposable to him. If she's still alive, she needs to get the hell out, run as far as you can and turn yourself in and contact somebody. Do the right thing before you lose your life or before somebody else does. So there's genuine concern for the welfare of the correctional officer. We can have a look at a wanted poster. Let's have a look at that. Well, I'm going to play this video too, which I'm a little bit confused by. Within this article, it mentions that they're in a 2007 Ford Edge, was it? Or that they used a 2007 Ford Edge, but now this video is saying that this is them in this vehicle here, in that vehicle there, which is a pickup truck of some kind. So I'm a little bit confused by that. But we will also have a look at this wanted poster here. So here he is, Casey White, 6'6" it says here, weight 300 pounds. I did read 6'9", perhaps that was inaccurate. So they think that they're now in a gold or copper 2007 Ford Edge, this type of vehicle. But perhaps they've changed the vehicle. It's also believed that they have an AR-15 and a shotgun. There's the correctional officer, 56 years of age, Vicky Sue Davis White. There he is. I mean, he's a dangerous guy. The article does give us more details about how they broke out. It seems like they were doing a pickup at around the same time. So there were other vehicles transporting inmates within two other vehicles. So I think the reasoning there is she perhaps chose this specific time so that the other correctional officers would think that it was a sanctioned transportation of the inmate, where of course it wasn't. So to give her more of an alibi or such. This is Casey White's victim, Connie Ridgway. She was killed at her home at Meadowlands apartment in Alabama, 2015. The murderer, Casey White, this inmate that's on the run, says that he was paid to have killed her, and he subsequently did. So he's an extremely violent and dangerous man. As I say, there is a lot more info, and I'm not going to be able to go through all of that, but we can have a look at this second article here. Perhaps to have a quick look at the facility, a number of photos within this facility. Very barren. Very barren. I mean, it's a shock that such a situation could occur, but I guess at the end of the day, human beings, are the integral aspect of these facilities. The staff, and I suppose you have to trust your staff, especially when they've been in their position for decades. I believe Vicky White has been in the role for decades. I think I saw 17 years. I may have that wrong. So I guess you have to put trust in them. And as we know, human beings can't always be trusted. But what can you do? I wouldn't necessarily blame the correctional facility. Perhaps, I'm sure that there'll be an investigation put into place, perhaps processes reviewed, perhaps certain protocols weren't met. Well, seemingly they weren't, but perhaps improvements could be made to avoid this type of thing happening in other facilities moving forward. But ultimately, this is at the hands of a twisted human being. We don't know what her motivation is, but presumably she's in love, at a guess. Presumably, if she's not in love, she certainly feels a strong connection to this guy. Maybe she feels that he has changed. Maybe she feels he's innocent. Who knows? But what a reckless action to go on the run with a convicted murderer. Craziness. So I'm going to wrap things up here. As I say, this perhaps isn't the best video or coverage in regards to this topic. It's a little bit messy, and I only have a certain amount of time and brain space to put into these videos. And this one's a little bit of a complicated subject, so I've done the best I can in the time available that I have. So I'll wrap things up at this point. If you think I've done a half decent job, if you like this type of content, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. Take care, guys. If you are working as a correctional officer, try not to bust out the inmates. It's best not to do that. In all seriousness, we do hope and pray that everything goes okay. I mean, these guys are armed. This woman has been a fucking moron. Forgive me. She may be dead at this point. She may have been murdered. She may be a murder victim at this point. And if she is, I'm going to be an asshole. She'll have herself to blame. You know? We can't. There's no argument for this. You can't say that she was taken prisoner. She wasn't. So hopefully that doesn't happen. And why the fuck would she arm this scumbag? It's just crazy. Absolute craziness. I mean, perhaps he's a master manipulator. Perhaps he should start a YouTube channel on the true crime genre. There's apparently a few master manipulators within it. I'm being facetious. Apologies. But look, there we go. So we just hope that things don't turn out to be the murderous mess that we expect it will. And perhaps we'll do an update. But even so, don't expect perfection from me. I'm not going to be the smoothest, the most prepared, the most well-produced videos out there, because it's just me doing this in my own spare time. Some of these subjects are very straightforward. Others are a little bit complicated. And the complicated ones are often the interesting ones, but it is difficult to compete with the professionals in putting a nice piece together. So it is what it is. So I'll thank you for your time, guys. I'm going to call it a night on this end, but I hope and expect to make multiple videos tomorrow and to continue to do so up until the point that I need to take a mental break. But up until then, expect to see multiple videos from me most days. Thanks, guys. Take care and avoid these guys here.